want to give you guys a 10,000 foot overview and a basic understanding of surf fitness, quote unquote, and sarcasm. This is a small snippet of a presentation and webinar that you can get within the Ocean Sports Performance Program. That's my membership website. I teach a lot of this on our trips, and I think this gives people a lot of clarity because often I'm looking at surf fitness, quote unquote, sarcasm on social media, and I kind of shake my head. So, broad understanding, equate health to surfing, right? If you look at the bottom right image, it's this huge expression of the human form. Dynamic movement, speed, cognition, awareness, timing, precision. If you're a fat slob, it makes that difficult. Okay, so how do we start looking at fitness so we can get a better idea of what surf fitness means to me or what it means to you? Because it can actually be quite different, and it is not just wobble boards and dynamic movement all the time. Again, I use high-level surfing as images because it gives you a better context and understanding of what the human body has to do at higher level surfing. And even if you are climbing the skill pyramid, which we will get to, you still need to be able to move well, to move optimally, dynamically, fluidly, a functioning spine, a hip joint that moves in all positions. Things need to move and function well. So that's why surf fitness generally needs to focus on the health and well-being. Do you move well? Do you support yourself with quality nutrition? How's the breath work? How about the mindset? Because as you start getting into, again, climbing the skill pyramid of surfing, what we come across on our coaching trips very often, that there's a huge impediment to skill acquisition due to mindset or fear and anxiety. So understand this skill pyramid. Surf fitness is working on these things so that you get in the water and work on your skill. You do not need to be sport specific in a gym. It does not carry over. Sometimes movement training will carry over. If we're working on some rotational positioning and hand positioning and shoulder positioning so you can drill it on dry land and then take it into the water, or working on a Carver skateboard, that is skill work. But you need time and practice in the ocean to improve your skill. What we're doing in the gym is, one, making sure you can move. Do your joints move well? Do they functionally or do they optimally function? Then we start layering on the performance work of endurance, strength, speed, power, quickness, agility, coordination. Just because you get more endurance, or just because you get really efficient at a medicine ball power throw, doesn't mean you're going to suddenly shred in the surf. What you're trying to do is take the brakes off your skill acquisition in the water. We want to build a body that's not limited by lack of endurance, that's not limited by a shoulder problem, that's not limited by fear and mental anxiety, so that you get in the water, you can work unimpeded on the skill. So I ask you, consider your surfing. What is limiting you in terms of fitness? I'm not just trying to bash on unstable surface work, but that is the thing you characteristically see with this quote unquote surf fitness. Does your surfing need more unstable balance work? Or would it be better if you got your hips more mobile and then maybe built some more endurance and overall work capacity? Think of those things. Because we can take really high level surfers, right? Their skill is already up there. So do they need crazy amounts of surf fitness stuff? I've got some guys that I run trips with, they just need to work on joint health and mobility. But you see a lot of beginner surfers. What's limiting their skill? A, more time in the water. They need to learn to read waves. But it's a lack of endurance. They can't paddle long enough. They're not comfortable holding their breath. The older guys are generally far too stiff, a lack of mobility. So it's these things that are hindering their actual skill acquisition in the water. And then we get a quick second. I want you to look at this image on the bottom. It's a golf swing, and you can see the biomechanics necessary in terms of strength and mobility and power. The same can be said for surfing. So if you really dig this and want deeper insight into a webinar like this, as well as follow along training programs, mobility drills, nutrition, breath work, all things aimed at creating a better, more functional human so that you can surf, check out the links below. Join up for my Ocean Sports Performance Program. You can get a $7 trial, and you can really dive into this stuff to make sure you are operating at your full potential movement-wise so you can surf and continue to improve. Water. And then we get into these biomotor profiles, and this is how we start organizing our training more efficiently. Every sport needs certain amounts of these. And let's think of the extreme end. So a strength is like a strongman competition, high levels of strength. High levels of power would be like Olympic weightlifting. Endurance would be a marathon runner. And then we can start to categorize what you or myself might be lacking and what's going to have the biggest benefit to our surfing. So for some individuals, again, is there a lack of strength? There could be. For maybe some women popping up, they might need some more upper body strength, especially for duck diving. If they're transitioning to shorter boards with a bit less volume, you still require a lot of upper body strength and control to do a really efficient duck dive. I'd argue most surfers need to work a lot on endurance work, as the majority of paddling or surfing is paddling. So maybe your fitness orients around building endurance of the upper body. Maybe that also involves rehabbing a shoulder and then working a lot on flexibility. So this is how we can start prioritizing what is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, in a sense, in terms of your fitness, so that you can essentially get in the water and start working unimpeded on the skill acquisition. All right, so we need to start thinking of the primary motor profile, or the primary movement patterns: squatting, bending, lunging, twisting, pushing, and pulling, seeing what you're good at, what you're not good at, what level of surfer you are, and what's going to have the biggest carryover. Not necessarily just throwing at you the craziest, most dynamic, functional surf fitness, because that often doesn't carry over. Remember, the skill and technique is worked on and improved in the water. We don't need to necessarily replicate those movements on dry land. We just need to build adequate strength and flexibility and mobility, perhaps some speed and power, so that you can work on those skills unimpeded. I hope that makes sense. If you want way more of this, check out the Ocean Sports Performance Program. Check out my website, all of the programs, training options, flexibility options, and maybe you will even join us on one of our surf coaching trips across the world. If you dig it, subscribe, like it, follow it, hit me up with some comments, share the love, improve your body, improve your surfing.